on YouTube. Oh, white supremacist gang member indicted. No, where? White supremacist indicted. 4 days ago. 68 defendants charged and indictment dozens. Federal local law enforcement today arrested 42 members of the associated SSC. I'm going to change this over here. That will be help. There. Now I go into YouTube and check it out, double check, and just in case, YouTube channel, to check it out. Seems like not really. There, I guess it's okay. Okay, I'm live. Yeah. No. Turn off the volume. Turn off the volume. Now let's check it out. The news is coming up. Catch my attention. This is coming from the Office of Public Affairs at the U.S. Department of Justice. It's not like from News Corporate media source. I read directly from the Office of Public Affairs, the DOJ. Federal law enforcement today arrested 42 members of an associated of the SFB Pickwood in San Fernando Valley, California-based white supremacist street gang. 76 court federal grand jury indictment alleging they engaged in a year-long pattern of racketeering activity that including trafficking of drugs, including fentanyl, illegal firearms possession, and COVID-19 benefit and loan fraud. The Justice Department has dealt a decisive blow to the San Fernando Valley Peckwood, a violent white supremacist gang that were charged and as responsible for trafficking deadly fentanyl and other drugs, committed robberies, and perpetrating financial fraud to fund both their criminal enterprise and that of the Aryan Brotherhood. Aryan, crazy people. Now, what was that? I put it on Facebook as well. Let me see over here. Now, let's check it out what happened today with Kamala Harris. This interests me right now. The news. The New York Times just published an opinion talking about the New York Times. Uh, Vice President Harris says will spend the week hitting the airwaves with a series of major media interviews before heading to the West Coast as early voting gets underway. Yeah, early vote is underway now. A senior campaign official saying Harris will sit for interviews in the coming days with the radio host Howard Stern, late night host Stephen Colbert on The Late Show, and the host of The View. Oh, I want to see that. This week? Yeah, this week. Spending this week, they said. That will be wonderful. Those appearances are an addition to an addition to a previously announced sit down with 60 Minutes, which will air Monday, and an appearance on the popular Call Her Daddy podcast that will be released Sunday. Harris' media blitz comes as her campaign has thus far used target interviews to reach certain audiences. The vice president has sought for interviews with local outlets and battleground states, and she has done radio interviews and podcasts. The audience for her oncoming interviews will likely be larger, though The View and The Late Show boast millions of viewers daily. Stern has more than 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and Alex Cooper, host of the Call Her Daddy, has millions of followers on social media. Harris will travel later in the week to Nevada and Arizona, the senior campaign official said. She will participate in an Univision town hall event and other campaign stop in Las Vegas on Thursday, the official said. On Friday, she will travel to Arizona to campaign and urge voters to cast a ballot earlier. This early voting began at the state on Wednesday. Now we put something over here in my Facebook. You see, put one of these pictures related to this broadcasting. Actually, I did it with Canva. You're right. Canva. All right. As well. Live on YouTube, Omar Global Television. And then you go to like X as well. You what's happening? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let me see my profile. No. Turn this down. And this one as well. And then you post something over here. This one over here. And that's it. Those posts are temporary. You got it. Now, Sunday. All right. Yeah, Wednesday is starting in Nevada. the early voting over there. Polling has showed the presidential race between Trump and Harris is neck and neck, with roughly 4 weeks to go until Election Day. The decision desk headquartered the Hill average of polls shows Harris narrowly the Hill. So right, got it. Leading on the battleground state of Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, while Trump is narrowly ahead in Arizona and Georgia. Let's check it out. Another news. Right now in Quebec is 12:30 and it's noon, and it is the 6th of October, 2024. Let's check it out. Something else. Over here, let's see if I can read for free. That's another thing. I'm in Globe and Mail. The Globe and Mail is newspaper from Canada. It's conservative newspaper, actually. We have to say that, you know, we have to identify the media, actually, what media you are reading. Yeah, what television you are watching. Kamala Harris pledged ongoing federal support as she visits North Carolina to survey Hurricane Helene aftermath. There's a picture of the Democratic presidential nominee and U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris attends a briefing with officials in North Carolina Air National Guard facility in the wake of Hurricane Helene and Charlotte, North Carolina, last October 5, yesterday. Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris pledged ongoing federal support and praised the heroes among us as she visits North Carolina on Saturday and the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, a second trip in 4 days to the disaster zone. The vice president was in Charlotte one day after a visit to the state by Republican Donald Trump, who is spreading false claims about the federal response to the disaster. Harris opened her visit to attending a briefing with the state and local officials, where she thanks those who are in the room and those who are out there right now working around the clock. She promised federal assistance will continue to flow and added price for the strangers who are helping each other out, giving people shelter and food, and friendship and fellowship. Despite Trump's claims that the federal response in the state has been lousy, Democratic Governor Roy Cooper said the state was deeply grateful for the federal resources that we have. FEMA has been on the ground with us since the very beginning, he said, referring to the Federal Emergency Management Agency. After her briefing, Harris helped in packed toiletries into 8 kits at a distribution center, where she met Angelica Wynn from Airhead Asheville, who was there to volunteer with their daughter and a friend, even though Wynn said her own family was still without power and people were just surviving. There's a lot of resilience, Wynn told Harris, adding that we want to make sure people don't forget about us. Harris assured that the federal government were here for the long haul. Melissa Foundrat told Harris that about driving a truck carrying assistance to people in a remote Morgantown where people weren't coming. You are the heroes among us, Harris said. Earlier in the week, Harris was in Georgia, where she helped distribute meals toward the damage and console families hard hit by the storm. President Joe Biden, too, visited the disaster zone during the stop over 2 days in the Carolinas, Florida, and Georgia. Biden surveyed the damage and met with farmers with crops has been destroyed. So has been vocal and visible about the government's willingness to help and the administration effort so far, including covering costs for all the rescues and recovery efforts across the Southeast for several months as the state struggled under the weight of the mass damage. And the latter, late Friday, by congressional leader Biden wrote that while FEMA's disaster relief fund as the resource is required right now to meet immediate needs, the fund does face a shortfall at the end of the year. He also called on lawmakers to act quickly to restore funding to the Small Business Administration's disaster loan program. More than 200 people have died at the worst storm that hit the United States mainland since Katrina in 2005, and scientists have warned such a storm will only worsen in the face of climate change. But in the overheated election year, even natural disaster has become deeply politicized as the candidates crisscross the disaster area and in some cases visit the same venues to win over voters and battleground states. Trump has falsely claimed that Biden administration isn't doing enough to help impacted people in the Republican areas and has harshly criticized the response. He has, in El Helene aftermath, exposed falsehoods about climate change, calling it one of the great scams of all time. During a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, Trump renewed his complaint about the federal government doing a very bad job in the storm response, with little relief in North Carolina in particular. In fact, Cooper said this week that more than 50,000 people have registered for FEMA assistance and about $6 million has been paid out. Biden has suggested that House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican from LA, what is LA state? Not sure. Is withholding money for disaster relief needs. There's something interesting me over here from the Globe and Mail. This newspaper, I'm still reading for free. Interesting. The newspaper actually is from Canada. And there is an article. Yeah. Now they charge me, or they want to charge me. Yeah, not possible to read for free. That's for sure. I understand. I respect that. I respect that. Now, this guy, Elon Musk, he was on X, on Twitter yesterday, some weird pictures of he is jumping on kind of like at the back of Trump on his first appearance. Let me see, Elon Musk. Elon Musk. He jumping on the like a kid, you know. This news is from AP, Associated Press. Now, Elon Musk make his first appearance at the Trump rally and cast the election in dire terms. Dire terms. Billionaire tech executive Elon Musk cast the upcoming presidential election in dire terms during an appearance with Donald Trump, calling the Republican presidential nominee the only candidate to preserve democracy in America. The CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, who also purchased X, Twitter, Musk joined Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, and at the site where the former president survived an assassination attempt in July. Musk said this will be the last election if Trump doesn't win. Huh? What are you talking about? This will be the last election if Trump doesn't win. This guy is completely crazy. What are you talking about? Wearing a cap with the Make America Great Again slogan of Trump's campaign, Musk appeared to acknowledge the forwarding nature of his remark. As you can see, I am not just a MAGA, I'm a dark MAGA, he said. That's crazy. What? Well, I don't think it's healthy to read this. I don't know. It's completely crazy. Huh? I always said Elon Musk is more dangerous than Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is dangerous, Elon Musk is yet more dangerous, though, in my opinion. It was the first time that Musk joined one of Trump's rallies and was evidence of their growing alliance and the final strength of the presidential election. Musk created a super political action committee supporting the Republican nominee and has been spending heavily on get out vote efforts. Trump said he will task Musk to lead a government efficient commission if he regained the White House. Trump joined Musk in August to a rare public conversation on X, a friendly chat that spanned more than 2 hours. In it, the former president largely focused on the July assassination attempt, illegal immigration, and his plan to cut government regulations. This guy is unbelievable, crazy, tough, fucking. Before a large crowd Saturday, Musk sought to portray Trump as a champion of free speech, arguing that Democrats want to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to take away your right to vote effectively. What is vote effectively? What does that mean? What is vote effectively? So if you go to vote, who say that this vote is effectively or not? What does that mean? Musk went on to criticize the California effort to ban voter ID requirement. California effort to ban voter ID requirement. I guess for vote anywhere in the world, you need IDs. The event took place in the same property where gunmen bullets grazed Trump's right ear and killed Trump's voter carried corporate. The shooting left multiple other injured. Several members of the corporate family, as well as other attendants, the first responded from the July rally, returned to the site on Saturday, also appearing with the former president with his running mate, Republican Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, son Eric Trump, daughter-in-law, and RNC co-chair Laura Trump, along with Pennsylvania lawmakers and sheriff. The story has been corrected to reflect that Elon Musk said Democrats want to take away your right to vote effectively, not fight to vote effectively. This article was written by Mead Kinnert. She is a national politics reporter. Kinnert covered national politics for the Associated Press. She lives in South Carolina. This Elon Musk is weird. All right. Let's check it out more from AP. Now, let's check it out, this one. Say for migrant woman who landed in Colorado looking for a job? A common answer emerged. No. Uh-oh. Watch up. Um, this news is coming from signed by Bianca Vasquez Tones. She is a journalist and for working for AP and signed it and written in Aurora, Colorado. East Colfax Avenue was the best place to find a job. That was everyone told Sofia Roca. Never mind the open drug use, the sex workers of the groups of other migrant women marching the sidewalks soliciting work at a very same Mexican restaurants and bakeries. On East Colfax in Aurora, Colorado, Boston customers would speak Spanish and might be willing to hire someone like Roca, a 49 years old immigrant from Colombia, without legal authorization to work. That was the rationale to going back to Colfax each morning, fruitless as it was. Do you know to, do you know how to cook Mexican food? Asked one woman. Look up from the lines she was quartering when Roca inquired about a kitchen position advertised on the door. Roca's accent was a given out, non-Mexican. I can learn, Roca replied in Spanish. Responded woman, we are not hiring. A record number of South Americans attempt to cross the U.S. southern border seeking better economic opportunities. Many are landing in communities that are unprepared for them and sometimes outright hostile. And many migrants are also being unprepared for the realities of their new home. Women are leaving Colombia and the greater extent of Venezuela to escape starvation and violence, to provide for the children, and to seek medical care. They represent some of the more than 42,000 migrants who have arrived in Denver area over 2 years. Many didn't know anyone in Denver, but it was the closest city to which Texas was offering free bus rides, both to relieve pressure on the towns and to make a political point to liberal-leaning cities about immigration's impact at the border. From Denver, untold numbers made their way to the neighborhood suburb of Aurora, lured by cheap rent and abundant Spanish speaker. But finding a job and an affordable place to stay has been anything but easy, and women face their own particular challenges. Last year, nearly 900,000 women and girls tried to cross the U.S. southern border, more than a five-fold increase over the last decade. U.S. Customs and Border Protection data show. Like many of them, Roca came to the United States to help her children. Her adult daughter back in Colombia suffered from lupus and can't afford the good medicines. The economy in Colombia never recovered from pandemic shutdowns, and Roca heard from acquaintance that in the United States she could earn $1,000 a week. That is a lot of money in Colombia, she said. Back home, $1 can buy breakfast for your entire family. Roca set out of the United States with an uncle. He was detained in Mexico, but Roca made it across the border in Juarez and told U.S. agents she was seeking asylum. She heard from the shelter worker in El Paso that Denver was offering free housing for migrants, and Texas will pay to get her there. As of September, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has passes at least 119,000 migrants from the border to cities run by Democratic mayors, including Denver, New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., according to a press release from the governor's office. Roca arrived in November and stayed for 2 weeks in a hotel turned shelter paid by the city and Denver. When she went looking for work in front of Home Depot and along its Colfax, she observed an icy reception from locals. They say horrible things about Venezuelans, she said. She didn't know the benefit many recent migrants had received, specifically a path to a temporary work visa and with better paid jobs, were causing resentments among Aurora's large Mexican community. Many have loved ones in the country illegally, and once himself lived for years in the United States without legal permission to work. As chaos and economic collapse drove more migrants to the border, President Joe Biden's administration created and expands legal pathway to enter the United States with the possibility of applying for work permit. However, in June, Biden temporarily suspended asylum for new migrants who crossed illegally, ending a main pathway to legal work. Roca never was eligible for work permit, but Mexican residents in Aurora still associate her with the many migrants who are. Resentment for newcomers was building in another corner of Aurora too. City Hall Aurora official in February also warned other communities against housing migrants there, vowing not to spend city money to help them. This summer, Aurora's mayor repeated a landlord claim that a notorious Venezuelan gang has taken over an apartment building, saying he will investigate how so many Venezuelans ended up living in Aurora. Even though police say gangs hasn't taken ever over the building, former President Donald Trump took up the claim, mentioning that in his campaign rallies. The mayor last month walked back some of his comments. Roca never made a deliberate decision to settle in Aurora. To her, it wasn't clear where Denver and Aurora began, and that Denver was more eager to help migrants coming to the area. So when her time is almost up in the Denver shelter, she does the only thing she knows to do. She headed to help East Coast in Aurora. She walked up and down the sidewalk, talking people that take over the bus shelter to shoot up trucks and smoke fentanyl, who so apparently shoplifted toiletries on the sidewalks. She approached migrants holding cardboard signs and begging for money outside Walmart, asking if they know of work or a place to stay. A man standing in his truck parking outside Goodwill thrift store catch her attention. He is signing along to rap music in Spanish. He seems happy, she thinks. He seems like a good guy. He say he can help her and her cousin who arrived a few weeks earlier, but not in Colorado. She can come back to Kentucky with him and his family to hold her over in the short term. The man, El Cubano, she calls him, gives her $10 and invites her for ice cream. After more than a week and staying with their family in Kentucky and cooking and eating meals together, Roca learns El Cubano's wife working on negocio at the business. There's not much work in Kentucky, so she earned her money through sex work, she told Roca, while her kids played a few feet away. A few days later, while they are cooking dinner together at the couple's trailer, a Mexican man in his 30s pulls up outside a pickup truck. It seems a picture of Roca unlike her, and would pay $1,000 for 2 nights with Roca, the wife said. Roca will keep $600. The couple will get $400. Roca will have to pay him $6 for each ride to and from his house. Roca stopped chopping an onion and looks at her cousin. Don't go with that man, the cousin said. You don't know him. Roca considered all the jobs she's done in her life, caring for Alzheimer's patients as home health aide, answering phones to the call center, selling beauty products on the street of Mexico. In her month in the United States, she has quickly came to understand she had to make sacrifices in this country, that the reports she has heard back in Colombia about earning $1,000 a week were likely hyperbole, that she is pushing her body to limit to manual labor. She has set below a standard wage until she gets work permission, if that ever comes. She will have to stay in someone's living room with another new arrival and give up her privacy. But suggesting herself to the stranger in such an intimate and vulnerable way? No, she tells the woman. I'm not going anywhere with anyone. The man is told to leave. The insults start immediately. How you are going to earn money, girl? Asked the woman. You are not going to just live here for free. The food here is good, isn't it? But it's not free. Roca doesn't know what to expect. Maybe violence. She and her cousin had no money or transportation. They are essentially trapped. But a few days later, Roca leaves El Cubano yells insult for his driver. A Venezuelan woman she met outside Home Depot finds someone to help them leave Kentucky. Where they went to go? Somewhere she know people she remember thinking somewhere with other migrant. Back to Aurora and East Colfax Avenue. Back in Aurora, Roca reached out to a Venezuelan woman she'd met briefly begging for money outside the Walmart and Colfax. Soon she took a place in the woman's living room, sharing a queen-size blow-up mattress with the woman's teenage son. Roca found a job on the weekend helping a man set up and break down and install an outdoor flea market. She had a large sack and use the clothing over the shoulders, put out the clothing on display, take a customer, all for $10 a day. Oh, sorry, $10 an hour. It's an abusive wage, she said, but it is a job. She tried starting outside Home Depot, but found many people proportionate her for $6 or would pay it after she completed a legitimate job. She gave up standing outside a day labor's center in Aurora, where when she didn't feel safe trying to jockey for work against dozens of men who would push her out of the way and jump on the moving trucks rounding up workers. On most days, walking along Colfax Avenue, Roca said men would solicit her for sex, holding up their fingers and singing how many hundreds of dollars they were willing to pay. As she looking for work in March, she came across what looked like an old motel, a place she hasn't tried before. Is this hotel or a motel? I don't know, she said as she opened the heavy metal door. Let's check. In the small vestibule, a 1970s era cigarette vending machine stood in the corner. A grandfatherly man waiting behind plate glass sliding the windows. There was no vacancies, but he urged her to try a bar in the back. They are always looking for girls, he said. Roca walked in the rear of the building and recognized the name of the bar. I know about this place, she said. At a few Mexican cantinas around Aurora and Denver, women are paid to talk and drink with men. Ficheras, as the women are known in Spanish. Sell beers at a significant markup for men and back the profits. It can be a fast way to earn money, but also a route for sex trafficking or drug trade. Visit 3 establishment. You can see some ficheras wearing government-issued ankle bracelets with their sky-high heels. The bracelets were given to them by federal immigration officials to monitor their movements while they await immigration hearings. I don't think I have to do that yet, Roca said, but the street has only offered prostitution. Since returning to Aurora, Roca has discovered she has a few options to establish legal residence, working legally in the U.S. She told the U.S. Border Patrol officials she plans to plead for asylum and her deportation hearing next year, but she doubts they will grant it. Ironically, what happened to her in Kentucky could help her win a visa. The U.S. government issues special visas for victims of sex trafficking here, but Roca has never wanted to report to the Cuban couple, fearing they might come in after her. She has gotten in touch with Facebook with a high school friend from Colombia living for the last year in the northeastern United States. She's told me she can get me a job in a hotel and I can stay with her. She said, "What will you do if you were me?" she asked a reporter. "Will you go?" The idea of learning to move around a new American city excited Roca, but without more work, there wasn't much keeping her in Aurora. Her roommates were heading to eviction court next week. She didn't know where she could go if they lost the apartment. 2 days later, with about $80 in her pocket, Roca boarded a Greyhound bus paid by the city of Denver. She landed in Newtown, one that hasn't received busloads of migrants from Texas, and reunited with her high school friend. The Associated Press has not identified her new location since Roca is afraid The Cuban couple might seek her after she spoke about them in the media. Roca's friends followed through her promises, allowing her to live with her and connect her to a job cleaning hotel rooms. Roca has already changed jobs and has found one she likes better. She walks through the city with easy and anonymously. It is a huge difference from my life as Denver, she said. There was a chaos and no more has disrespected me. Has been a great refugee. She is not sure how long she will stay, but Sofia Roca will never leave in Aurora, Colorado again. The Associated Press education coverage received financial support from multiple private foundations. AP is solely responsible for all content. Find AP standard for working with philanthropists, a list of supporters, and fund coverage areas on ap.org. Okay, you guys, that's it from Omar Global Television. Hey, Sandy from Scott, Quebec. For you guys, enjoy the outings and see you guys next week. Bye bye.